So the last is not of the Father, but is of the world. Verse 17. Verse 17. And the world passeth away. And the world passeth away. So it's not eternal. It's temporal. It's finite. And the world passeth away, and the last thereof. But he that doeth the will of God. Did you hear the prophetic word about being the will of God? He that doeth the will of God does what? Abideth forever. Verse 18. Little children, it is the last time. As you have heard that Antichrist shall come. Now, a lot of believers read that, and then when they reach that comma, they take off. They say, he shall come, he shall come. No, look, as you have heard that the Antichrist shall come. The next part says, even now. Now is not now. Now is the now when John was writing. He didn't say even in your now. No, in his now. Now, even now. What is happening even now? There are many. See, we didn't start reading this scripture because we would have reached that comma and some people would have taken off in their mind. That's why we first establish, relax. There is authority restraining some things, activity around your life. Even now there are many antichrists, whereby we know it is the last time. Verse 19, then we can go to the other. Verse 19, he says, they went out from us, but they were not of us, for if they had been of us, they would no doubt have continued with us. But they went out that they might be made manifest, that they're not all of us. Okay, I know another translation. Let's read Amplified, so you see what they're saying. Okay. They went out from us. Okay, they went out from us, seeming at first to be Christians. You see why I wanted to read Amplified is because there's a service I attended, and that scripture was read for anyone who left the church. So now you know it has nothing to do with local assembly. It has everything to do with faith. They went out from us, seeming at first to be Christians, but they were not really of us because they were not truly born again and spiritually transformed. Born again and spiritually transformed. Now, born again wakastop hapo and spiritually transformed. And then he says, for if they had been of us, they would have remained with us, but they went out teaching false doctrine so that it would be clearly shown that none of them are of us. Now, this is part of the game the enemy plays. So he's come up with a system that induces self-reliance to promote independence from God. And he's used that system to blindfold not just non-believers. That's why we're reading this. Even those who profess that they're born again. Are you with me? So what is this system? A scriptural definition of it, it says it's the lust of the flesh, the lust of the eyes, and pride of life. What is that broken down or simply filtered down? It's two things. It is self-provision and self-protection. That is it. So it is a system that induces the need to provide for yourself and to protect yourself. That's the world system. That is the summation of the world system. So if you look at it, everything, when you look at it, the system is designed to induce in you the need to provide for yourself and the need to protect yourself. So it's and I'll explain shortly. 1 minute. No, I won't explain. We will leave that for next time. But we were going to explain why it works. But before we go to why it works, let's understand it. So in summary, I said if we say lust of the flesh, sinner yo. Okay, fine. Lust of the eyes, sinner yo. My eyes are covered with eye salve. Okay, sawa. It's spiri. Let's go to reality. Mambo kwa ground ni nini? This is mambo kwa ground. It's a system that induces. Do you know what inducing is? Ask the ladies who've been through labor and they have to induce. To induce means, and in medical terms, the child is due. The child is due. But the labor pains are delayed. Labor pangs are delayed. So they inject you with something that my sister calls Sinto. That's slang for the actual medicine, Synto something, whatever it is. When they inject you, it triggers labor pains or labor pangs and begins to cause the delivery process to start. So what does the system do? It induces. It induces. It induces. Now you have to understand this. If they induce you and you have no baby, nothing will happen. So there has to be a point of contact. There's something you are expectant with. So when they induce, it triggers labor pangs, also called lust. This labor pangs are not called lust. Don't misquote me. I'm drawing a parallel, for heaven's sake. Jesus, have mercy on me. I'm trying to draw a parallel. You know, somebody can clip that and say, labor pangs also called lust. So, when I was drawing a parallel, you see how when we said lust is a desire that one now becomes obsessed with. In other words, the desire takes them over. Yes. Those who have delivered, you know, the contractions take over. The labor pangs take over. So that kind of consumption is what the lust of the flesh, lust of the eyes, pride of life. But now, in this case, he's saying there is a system that induces that in man. A system that induces that. But of course, it cannot induce if you're not expecting the fruit of this system. But when you're expecting the fruit of this system, it makes a connection. It induces, and you're obsessed with providing for yourself and protecting yourself. Shaskia kuna deal, hot deal. Hot deal. Another one I like. And you see, I keep attacking these things until they fall off you. Yeah? Obsession with buying land to live for your children and their children's children. It's arrogance. Who told you they will outlive you? Who told you? We must find our way to what the prophetic word said, in the center of God's will. Because that is when you're hedged about. Because what's the enemy doing? He's inducing, he's baiting. He's baiting. So he starts slapping you with new business ideas and all this. Do the business the Lord is giving you. Amen. Not the trend. Not the trend. Not the trend. So you can find yourself busied up and about what? But you see, this is mambo kwa ground. How do you characterize this thing? How do you know it? The drive to provide for yourself and the drive to protect yourself. You know, one of the ways people protect themselves is with fat bank accounts, isn't it? Yes. It's called security for the future. Still self-protection. Self-provision, self-protection. That's a simple definition that will help us lay hold of it. An obsession with a drive to provide. Lazima ukue mwanaume. Mwanaume ana. Sawa mwanaume, sawa.